Hi, I'm here to pick up my son Milo.
There's no Milo here.
Who picked up my son from school?
Streaming only on Peacock.
I'm gonna need the name of everyone that could have a connection.
You don't understand. It was just the 5 of us.
So this was all planned.
What are you gonna do?
I will do whatever it takes to get my son back.
I honestly didn't see this coming. These nice people killing each other.
All Her Fault. A new series streaming now only on Peacock.
With new, gentler scented Clorox disinfecting wipes, clean finally smells as good as it feels. On everything from lamps to ceiling fans. Even on your kid's toy shark. Oh, ouch. Clorox disinfecting wipes. Now available in crisp lemon. Find it on Amazon. Clorox. Clean feels good.
Ladies and gentlemen, non-binary listeners, heroes and heroines, crooks and crookions, The Calling and the Spice Girls. The audio performance you are about to enjoy discusses casinos and gambling. We do not recommend gambling with money you cannot afford to lose or that is needed to pay bills. If you have a gambling problem, contact your problem gambling hotline. If you do not know how to contact your problem gambling hotline, send an email to help@casinocombat.com. We will find that number for you and provide it to you. Our hosts' past performances are not indicative of anyone's future performance, including his own. All materials presented here are based on actual facts. Names and dates are changed to protect the innocent and the guilty. Some events unrelated to outcomes may be omitted in the interest of brevity and clarity. The contents of this episode are the property of Volcanic Dingo LLC. All rights reserved.
It's me, it's TRG, the Ramblin Gambler, just trying to make a living and doing the best I can. Welcome to episode 173 of our Casino Combat Podcast.
Lyrics, dude. Recite him some lyrics.
Sure, Ted Theodore Logan, I got this covered. It will not be a problem. If I could, then I would. I'll go wherever you will go. Way up high or down low, I'll go wherever you will go. We actually heard that song performed on our recent first ever Casino Combat Blackjack Cruise as part of the crew talent show. The crew from the ship, that is, not our crew, not our squad. And I thought it was really, really appropriate. And don't worry, I heard it. I heard Fred. I'll get to the Spice Girls in a minute. I will. I'm going to get both artists. I promise. But it struck me that this is just really, really true, and not in the way the original authors intended. We'll cruise wherever you want to cruise. We'll travel wherever you want to travel. As long as our play qualifies, we can and we will do that. We proved through 2 different events, one on the land in Las Vegas, one on the ocean with MSC, that our squad will travel, and that when we travel, we will play. And that's a recipe in combination with our great friends at Premier Casino Hosting for us to do what we would like to do, for us to go wherever we would like to go, and I am more than happy to go there with you. It was a wonderful and amazing experience, and that's where the Spice Girls come in, because tell me what you want, what you really, really want. That's the key. At some point, you as the squad have to say, kind of, this is what we want to do. This is what we're willing to do. Where do you want to go? Where are you willing to go? Are you willing to fly and sail out of Miami? Because we sailed out of New York. It was wonderful. It was amazing. Dr. ECE and his lovely wife, Atlantic City Empress, had us over to their home for brunch by the pool before we all got in a van and went to New York City together. And we can look for those opportunities to travel by car. If we're willing to fly, we got a whole lot more opportunities. A lot of opportunities to sail out of Florida. A lot of opportunities to sail out of Galveston, out of LA, out of Portugal. We can do a lot of things. It's kind of, where will you go? What will you do? So ponder those. Email me, trg@casinocombat.com, in terms of a battle plan. And I'll get to what's going on with the squad in addition to cruising in a minute. But as part of the battle plan, this is going to be pretty and simple, straightforward. We're going to jump right into the virtual VIP lounge. We had a Zoom call to do a debriefing, to have some people that were on the cruise share their impressions of being on the cruise, to answer some questions about the cruise. So we're going to jump right into a VIP lounge, and we're going to share that conversation with all of you today. That's going to be the majority of our episode. Things going on with the squad. If you want to be part of our travels, that's something you want to do, if you need someone to help book you into casinos and into resorts, that's something that I'm doing. That's something that I'm doing a lot of, and I'm happy to do it for you, and I'm doing it with good results. We have guests getting ready to travel, members of our squad. They're going to, I hope I get this right, Ameristar in Colorado. They've never been comped before. We pulled their play from some Caesars properties they've been at. We presented it to Ameristar for the dates they want to travel. Ameristar said, we're more than willing to comp this. And oh, by the way, since they've never been here, we want them to see the entire property, have the entire experience. We are giving them an upgrade so that they will be welcome in our VIP lounge, in our high roller lounge. There's food, there's drink. We want them to experience the whole thing. And that's the kind of thing that I am able to do with the help of my bosses, the owners of Premier Casino Hosting. So email me, hit me up, tell me you'd like to do that. Get some trips under your belt on land as it suits your schedule, so that when you're ready to cruise with us, when we're ready to announce those cruises for 2026, we've got some play experience that we can look at for you and get you booked on these cruises with us as well. This is not going to be our only episode on the cruise. The episode after this will be VIP lounge session. This will be the virtual Zoom debrief. Next episode, I'll have some additional thoughts. I'll have my results for you. You're going to hear it as part of the Zoom call. We did Casino Combat. We did Casino Combat for a week, and we all had Casino Combat wins, both individually and as a group. Almost all of us left with more cash than we entered the ship with, in terms of our gambling, what we bought in with, what we walked off with, and the cabin or two, the individual here or there who did not have a win, their loss was less than the retail value of the cruise they were comped, and that is also a Casino Combat win. That is an amazing thing, and that is also, if this is your first time and you're going, what is this guy talking about? They know how to win. What is this guy talking about that they beat the game of casino gambling? It's not hyperbole, and it's not hype. It's the truth. We were unique players in the midst of a ship full of players, and we came out both individually and collectively as a profit, and we came off with their food, we came off with their drinks, we came off with their free play, we came off with the experience of enjoying their floating resort for an entire week, comped, and with their money. And we can teach you how to do the same thing, because I know we can teach you how to do the same thing. In terms of things going on with the squad, we have our friends, Professor Porsche and Lady Mac. A year ago, they were not gamblers in any way. And they asked us if we'd join them just as friends. They've been our friends for a long time as a couple. And they were going to go to Las Vegas and do some sightseeing. And we decided to kind of tag along. And they saw a little bit of what this is like to be a gambler and to be involved in the gambling world and to know what you're doing. They saw some of those discounts. They saw some of those go to the front of the line opportunities. And they thought, okay, that's pretty interesting. They learned a little bit about playing slots. And it wasn't a gambling trip for us particularly, or for them. It was a couple's vacation trip. Well, they came back, and we had an opportunity, Mrs. TRG and I, to both cruise on the same ship on the same day. She had a cabin, I had a cabin. So we took our friends once again, and they saw what it's like to cruise on comps and what that life is like. And they played a little slots using what they had learned from us in Las Vegas. And then we had an excursion canceled, and they played a little craps. And they did just enough gambling on that 3-day cruise that MSC was willing to comp them a balcony cabin, just that little bit of gambling and PCH magic, and we were able to comp them their own balcony cabin on their own play on MSC. And they came onto that ship understanding that they were going to do some gambling with a bit of a budget for gambling, with an interest in learning some gambling. And because it was a blackjack cruise, we taught them how to play blackjack in a very controlled way, in a way that we have all tested, that I've invented, I'll say it non-humbly, in a way that I invented, in a way that others helped me refine and adapted to their own uses. And we taught them over 7 days how to play blackjack our way. And they came to understand the game. And they walked off the ship with a cash profit, having walked on the ship not knowing how to play the game of blackjack. We can do it for anyone that wants to learn to play the way we play. It's not difficult. It takes some focus. It takes some discipline, but it is completely and entirely doable. So if you are not someone that routinely wins and routinely is comped, and you'd like to do that, you have found the place to be. You have found the people that are willing to do that. And then we are so out of our minds generous, we just do it for free. We just do it because we like to see people win. Yeah, there's an opportunity to spend a little money here, an opportunity to spend a little money there, but I'm not asking you to take a course. I'm not telling you got to sign up and pay me hundreds of dollars a month for me to coach. Dr. East Coast Emissary, he's giving away his advice for free. Midnight Diver, he's teaching people for free. We are not trying to make a fortune. We are trying to keep the lights on. We're trying to keep the email address open. We've gotten some tips recently from players that have had success, and I so appreciate people like Tomorrow's Thoroughbred who sent over a nice tip. Those are really appreciated. Those keep the lights on. Those keep the emails open, the servers running, the files being distributed. Which brings me to things going on in the casino, combat, galaxy, our website, casinocombatwithak.com. Go to the Fred section. We have all kinds of downloads there. And I created something recently called Track. Tactical Results Analysis Creation Kit. The kit comes in 2 parts. The first part is a video. Go to Spotify, find Casino Combat, spell combat with a K. There is a request for a $3 subscription. In fact, funny story about the $3 subscription. It was going to be $5. And I wanted to do something special for members of the Slack Virtual VIP Lounge, so I dropped it down pre-launch to $3 a month for them to subscribe to the video part of this podcast, the newly launched video part of this podcast. And I said, guys, jump on there real quick, 48 hours, you'll get it for $3. That way you can watch the video, download the files from the Fred section on the website, and you'll be able to build your own version of Track, which after you've used the creation kit, Track stands for Tactical Results Analysis of Casino Combat, a tool that you can build using free tools. Once you subscribe to our Spotify video subscription, watch the video, watch it a couple times, download the resources, and using free tools from the internet, you will build something on your phone that's just 3 quick, easy steps. What casino are you in? What activity did you do? Did you make money? Did you lose money? Were you paid money? Did you pay money? And then it puts it all on a dashboard right on your phone that summarizes all your results and stores those results in the cloud. So we have used that product, we've used Track, the creation kit, to launch our video platform. It is a subscription service, and it's going to be $3 for the next 3 months, because when I went back to raise the price, I was told I can only raise the price for after 90 days, once every 90 days. So in 90 days-ish, it will go up in cost, but for the time being, and it's perfectly cool. If you just want to build the result tracker, if you just want to build the result, the ability to keep track of your casino play and be accountable, subscribe for a month, spend the $3, cancel the subscription. Beyond that, it's on me to make that subscription worth having. But we're going to draw some distinctions. I found some interesting slot play things on the ship. Those are things better shown to you than told to you. So also on the video subscription service, we have a video of me playing slots in an entirely new and different way using a new feature that I learned about on the cruise. We've got that video up. While I am going to do an edit of the Zoom call, and it is going to be available as part of our normal audio release process. We're going to jump to that in just a minute. On the website, you will have the full unedited video of the call. We always have a little chit chat before. We always have a little chit chat after. We always have a thing or two in the audio that gets edited out. If you want to see faces, if you want to put names and faces together, if you want to see the whole video call as it happens, the subscription service is going to be your place for that. We are going to try to build that out. We are going to try to add value. So go to Spotify, search Casino Combat, spell combat with a K, find that subscription, create that subscription, watch our video content. If for some reason you try to do that and you go, I just can't find it, email me, trg@casinocombat.com, spell combat with a K. Say, hey, TRG, I looked, I couldn't find it, I need the link. I'll be happy to email the link right over to you. So I encourage you to use Track. We had a number of us on the cruise. Midnight Diver was using it. He'd built his own. I'd built my own. The wonderful thing about it is it's completely custom once you understand it. You can make it exactly what you want it to be, the things you want to track for your results. So that's out there. That's available. The video subscription is there and available. The price is reduced for the next 90 days. Love to have you take advantage of that. Let us jump into our only segment for this episode of our Casino Combat podcast. Let's head to the virtual VIP lounge.
A little bit of the bubbly.
Welcome to the most must-listen-to segment in casino lifestyle podcasting, the virtual VIP lounge. Our lounge is open and we have the best virtual everything, virtually all the time. Best virtual food and drink served in any virtual VIP lounge, anywhere on the interwebs. Guaranteed or your money back.
This is a debriefing for the first ever Casino Combat Blackjack Cruise. And we want to thank Michael Feldman and his partners for arranging this cruise for us with MSC. And we want to thank MSC for inviting us on their ship and providing just an excellent cruising and casino experience. Now, this is not a perfect science, because we all know casinos can get things wrong when they do recordings, but I'm fortunate to have been given all the results for all the cabins and all of my guests and all the people that were with us on the cruise. The people that are part of our squad, the people that were either my guest or Premier Casino hosting guest because they learned about them through the podcast. Amongst the cabins that we consider our squad, no one lost by Casino Combat standards. We did have a cabin or two with a negative number, but the amount lost was less than the amount of the cost retail of the cabin if they had paid for the cabin. By Casino Combat standards, we won. And as a group, our combined winnings vastly cover the amount of the couple small losses that we had within the group. As a squad, we beat the casino, and they comped us, and they gave us all at some point some money to gamble with, and they provided free play for our private blackjack tournament. We proved that we're a winning group once again. We are 2 for 2. We've had 2 group outings, and in both groups outings, the casino was not the winner. We were the winners as a group. So that is an unusual accomplishment. We got some applause there. So this evening we have a number of people online with us who were on the cruise, as well as some who are here to hear about the cruise. And so what I thought we might do is something that I am calling 2 schools and I was a fool. 2 things you really liked and 1 thing you wish you had done or done more of or done differently. You know, I'm not trying to say no negatives. If you've got something that's a negative, that's where it would go. And I'll share my example, and then I'm going to call on those of you who are on the cruise in order of podcast seniority. And if for some reason you would just rather prefer not to share, feel free to say so when I call on you. And it looks like from where we are right now, things should go fairly quickly. We'll take questions, comments, additional information once we go through everybody that was on the cruise once. And at the point where we're done with the questions and comments, we will have social hour until people are ready to wrap things up. To start us off, it was incredibly cool from my point of view to go on a cruise, not as a content creator with a group of podcast listeners, but with a group of friends that I met creating content online. The amount we've all gotten to be true friends since we started this is really absolutely very cool and very amazing. The other very cool thing I've realized since I got back is how much education went on during the course of the cruise. How much we all learned from each other being together. 6 years ago, I'd have paid just about anything I could afford to be on a cruise where I learned this much about being a better gambler. We do make each other better, in my never so humble opinion, every time that we are together as a squad, and that is tremendous value. And finally, I was a fool to not spend more time in the Sky Lounge. And to fill everyone in that wasn't on the ship, the Sky Lounge was on deck 18. It was a no children allowed space. It had floor-to-ceiling windows on 3 sides looking out at the ship and the ocean, the island, wherever we might happen to be. Great couches, great furnishings, great seating areas for groups, an excellent bar with its own unique craft cocktail menu, small plates, and desserts. We had our welcome party, and I got back there one or two other times in addition. But I should have spent some time there every day. It was a very VIP lounge type of experience. So there are TRG's two Kools and I was a fool. And now in order of their appearance in and on the podcast, we have Inner Circle before there was an Inner Circle, Mrs. TRG, the radiant goddess of casino combat.
Hi, everyone. Not to reiterate everything TRG said, because those are very great 2 Kools, because I would agree with them 100% also. I think one of my 2 coolest things and I'm going to take some bragging rights here, but winning the Blackjack tournament. I told him last night that I just never felt that I was a very skilled Blackjack player, and I never really win a lot of money wherever I go. So it was really quite surprising to me to win that Blackjack tournament. So that's one of my first Kools. Second of all, I think the food. I loved the main dining where we ate most of the time. And again, gathering with friends, it was so cool to have a big group all the time for dinner and enjoying conversations about everything and the different things that we did throughout the day. But the level of food I thought was really good. I like to try new things when I'm on vacation, and the seafood was just out of this world. I mean, I never ever thought I would have the opportunity to try red snapper or I know I'm not going to say it correctly, Ballardi, something like that. Swordfish, and it was just really, really good and very, very tasty. And I think the not too cool thing, one, I didn't spend enough time at the pool. I didn't even try the water slide this time. That is so unlike me. Just having too much fun with other friends and doing other things that I just kind of let that experience be what it is, and enjoyed the other times that I did get at the pool and in the hot tub and things with friends. So next time I will look at that water slide.
All right. So next up then we would have Inner Circle member, East Coast Emissary, PhD, fourth to the ring, followed by Atlantic City Empress.
Hi, everybody. My coolest thing, or my first cool thing, was when Midnight Diver joined the night before, and we grilled some steaks, and then I mixed up a batch of Washington Appletinis. I don't think he's ever had one. And it was nice. I used vanilla Crown for it. And so they were good. We enjoyed it. Then we opened up a bottle of French wine, and we pretty much destroyed that. And so we had a really nice night into the night. We kept saying, we'll probably go, and we just kept pouring a little more, a little. So we had a really nice evening the night before. Second cool thing was when I was playing Ultimate Texas, and TRG comes over, and he says, I've never played this before. Now, it's rare that you go into a casino and TRG doesn't know anything about a certain thing about a casino. So I felt so cool. Like that was nice for me to do that. And hopefully, I think he made a little money too, which was a good thing. And the thing I wish I did more of, I was playing blackjack with, Raimundo's wife. And, there was another guy who was very loud, and they were both so animated and they were fun. I think, their ears must hurt because they were yelling. It was just a fun table to be around, and they were just laughing and, hit me and, screaming if they got to hit the number they wanted. No, it's just a wonderful, wonderful, entertaining, table to play at with those guys. Followed by,
What about your fool?
that's the fool.
Oh, that was the fool.
I didn't do more of that. I wish I did more of that.
Gotcha. Hi there. My first cool would be taking part in the optional excursions. It's really always good to experience something new or learn something new, especially when I'm in a place that I've never visited or maybe will never visit again. So me, the very cools were the Kennedy Space Center in Port Canaveral, Florida, and the Sea Lion Encounter in the Bahamas. The Space Center was educational, learning more about our space program, getting to meet a living astronaut. The Sea Lion Encounter was so endearing, so entertaining, seeing the sea lions up close and watching them play right in front of you. My other cool was just the unexpected, unplanned surprises that we would encounter throughout the ship. Like on day one, going to the PCH welcome party. On the way there, as we were leaving the port, going under the Verrazano Bridge, it just appeared that the ship was standing still and that the bridge was moving closer and closer to us until we were directly under it. And that was just so amazing to see. And also just finding random surprises on the ship, such as Dr. ECE showed me this outside elevator made of glass with the view of the ocean to the horizon, and just exploring the ship and finding hidden gems like that all over the place. My fool would probably be the opposite of TRG's cool, and that's learning more about gambling. My fool would be not availing myself of the expertise of my squad mates. As Mrs. TRG said, she won the blackjack tournament. Equine Ensign, he came in second. He's a great craps player. Midnight Diver and VCPD are proficient at so many different games. And if I asked any one of them to show me the ropes or to play alongside of them, I'm fully confident that they would have welcomed me, coached me, and I would have learned so much. But in my hesitancy, I didn't want to bother them, so I let my opportunities pass, where I really could have gained a good, solid knowledge from each and every one of them. But I will know better next time, so note to self for next cruise.
Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
Chronic spontaneous urticaria, or chronic hives with no known cause. It's so unpredictable. It's like playing pinball. Itchy, red bumps start on my arm, then my back. Sometimes my legs. Hives come out of nowhere. And it comes and goes. But I just found out about a treatment option at treatmyhives.com. Take that, chronic hives. Learn more at treatmyhives.com.
All right. Next by seniority would be Inner Circle member, Virginia casino player Doug, defender of the Commonwealth, 8th to the ring.
Wow, I had a great time. Probably my biggest cool would be just getting to meet everybody in person. It's the first time I've met most of the people from the squad. I've gotten to hang out with Midnight Diver once before, but the CEs and the TRGs and everybody else has had a blast meeting everybody and really get to hang out and learn a lot. My second cool was being able to play at a blackjack table with serious players. I guess you could say professionals, but just being able to play at the blackjack table with everybody having the same philosophy and goals and nobody doing something crazy that really upsets the table. I learned a lot by just being able to sit there and watch and listen. The one thing I regret that I really wanted to do was play some Ultimate Texas Hold'em with Dr. ECE. I never was able to get the chance when he was playing, but I really wanted to sit down and get some coaching from him. That's a game that I know is getting really popular in the squad, and I definitely wanted to learn a little bit more about it. But overall, it was just a blast hanging out with everybody.
All right, then I believe that brings us to Excelsior Brigade member Midnight Diver.
It was a great trip. As Dr. ECE said, we started off partying Saturday night at his place. They were very generous hosts, and I cannot express my appreciation enough. That was just a wonderful evening. The whole trip was good. I loved the blackjack tournament, as well as having that private blackjack table. I think those were the two biggest highlights, along with just having allies in the casino, other players, the people that we knew. I did have the opportunity to sit down with Dr. ECE and play a little Ultimate Texas Hold'em. I got to play with VCPD, and he showed me how to play the version of Spanish 21. That was fun. So there was a lot of great moments. The one fool thing is I never got off the ship at their private island, so I've yet to explore that island. So I guess we're going to have to go back so I can do that.
That's excellent. Well, we have a reason, as if we needed one. All right. We're ready for comments, questions. The floor is open until everybody decides to close the floor.
Well, what's the plan now that MSC is not going out of New York anymore?
That's a great question. I guess the question back would be, are you willing to fly? I mean, we were fortunate on this one that, and somewhat because of some changes in plans because of the floods and everything, that everybody was able to drive, but they have their bigger ship, MSC World, that goes out of Miami, and you can fly into Miami or you can fly into Fort Lauderdale. They're both about 30 minutes from the cruise port. Hotels tend to be a little less expensive in Lauderdale from what I've experienced. But if we wanted to go out of Miami, World is a big ship, looking at late spring. They have cruises that go to some interesting ports, and maybe interesting isn't fair, ports that I've never been to. We have options to go out of Philly or Baltimore. I'm somewhat hesitant because if it's a gambling cruise and we go out of Philly or Baltimore, the casino isn't open the first night at all. But that's an option. Another option is just try to squeeze one in on the same ship out of New York. Maybe go over to Bermuda instead of the same itinerary. We've still got well into like March that we could cruise out of the same port, and then we get down to Royal is certainly a great option. Royal's going to continue to go out of Port Liberty. We can pick any of the other cruise lines for the most part, and those will be new experiences. And we may find we like them, or we may find that we don't. But that's do you want to, as a group, are you willing to fly the night before, or is that just a hard no? I'm not doing it, because then we get lots of options, including some really good options on Royal out of Puerto Rico. And I certainly don't know about all air travel in all of the United States, but when I look at the cost of airfare to Puerto Rico and the flight time, and the same thing to Miami or Tampa or Fort Lauderdale, it's 10, 15% less expensive. It's always direct flights. I'm not getting told that if I want to go to Miami, what I should do first is go to New York City and sit in New York City for 2 hours before getting on a plane to Atlanta, before getting to Fort Lauderdale. It's, for the most part, get on the plane and either go directly to Puerto Rico or go in the direction of Puerto Rico. I mean, and this is personal preference, I don't like flying to Atlanta to fly to Las Vegas. For me, that's ridiculous. I'm going east to go west. If I got to fly to Atlanta on my way to Puerto Rico, well, Atlanta's on my way to Puerto Rico. So that launching from Puerto Rico gives us lots of really more exotic islands. It also gives us some of Royal's smaller ships, because you have to be on smaller ships. Like the docks at St. Lucia can't take an Oasis class ship. So you get some of Royal's smaller ships, which have less kids stuff on top, and I don't expect any children to be joining us for the most part. So think about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about how many you'd support a year. If we did 2 a year, if we did one late spring and, kind of one mid to late summer like this, and at least the summer one avoided the school year for those of us that are in the education field, would you support 2? The tough one, the first one's the tough one. The first one is the question of, will anyone show up? We know they will, and we know there are people that couldn't come with us, who wanted to come with us, who want to come with us the next time. We would expect a bigger group. So think about those things. Send that feedback. I believe Michael's sincere when he says he thinks it was a big success. And once again, it's not mine, it's ours. Tell me what you want, and we'll get it done if we possibly can.
Can we do something land-based too every year? Maybe on the Atlantic City or?
Yeah, so here's, as easy as Atlantic City sounds, as an official group event, it's a little more challenging to make it make sense. Unless we park it in the middle of February during the week, the casinos have zero incentive to work with us on much of anything. The comps you're already entitled to are going to be the comps you get. It's going to be one of the Caesars properties, because that's where we have the contracts. And the other properties, even if we went to them and said, hey, we'd like to work with you on this, we'd like to have a contract, they're going to say, you already have a contract with Caesars, we're not doing it. So I've got to try to convince all of you to go to Atlantic City in the middle of the week when it's cold, And then most of you have been to Atlantic City, so you're coded already as local guests. If we want to, as a group, go hang out in Atlantic City, it should not be, in my opinion, a podcast event where we try to get podcast concessions. We should build a consensus as a group of when we are willing to all be there at the same time. And then PCH will book us into the Caesars property of our choice, or we'll see what Ocean will do for us individually, and that will make a lot more sense. Flip side of that, what would make a lot of sense in a lot of ways, and where I do believe we can get concessions, the Seneca Nation in upstate New York has 3 properties, one in Niagara Falls, one in Buffalo, and one Seneca Allegheny, which is near Endicottville, which is a big skiing area. If we did that in the spring, there's lots of great little shopping and stuff to do there. We could maybe arrange for a van from the casino to take people over and do some shopping over there. There's a winery nearby that has a tasting room in that same little Endicottville town. We might be able to coordinate it around live entertainment in the showroom, which they do fairly often. That's normally a low table limit place. It's a place where on Saturday night, you're often finding $10 blackjack tables, and they're apologizing that they have the craps table all the way up to $10 from its normal $5. It's also a property that has a secret room, which is a wonderful bar with expensive bottles, and you have to be their second tier to get into the secret room. But the last time I was there, they, despite the fact that I hadn't been there in several years and have never earned second tier status, they made sure I got the second tier card, that I got the expensive drinks comped on the floor, that I got access to the secret bar. That is a property that I'd be more comfortable saying, I'd like a private game. I'd like a car to take us, those that wish to go, over to Endicottville. I'd like them all to have access to the private bar. Here's what we did on MSC. And I would be comfortable saying, look, I know, unless you've got the Doobie Brothers in that are packing the place, you'll be happy to have us. Maybe even if they are having Doobie Brothers place. And that's a great property where the valet parking is still comped if you're staying in the hotel, where room service is available for extended hours. And when they bring you room service, they do not bring you a paper bag with plastic and plastic utensils. They bring you a proper room service cart with the food in a chafing dish, inside a cloche, proper flatware, cloth napkins, like it used to be before the pandemic made every casino turn into DoorDash or Uber Eats. So that would be a good choice. Niagara Falls in season, we can ask. I think they'd be less inclined to do that, but that would be a good choice. Any of the more rural, near East Coast, Penn Gaming Hollywood Casino. There's one in, I'll get it wrong. It's either Charleston or Charlestown, West Virginia, that has a very, very nice hotel and a nice casino that would be East Coast drivable, that once again, smaller, rural, within our brand set. So I'd like to, in my perfect world, subject to veto by the person that actually runs this whole thing, I always have to get her buy-in. In a perfect world, I'd like to do 2 cruises, one convenient as to the East Coast and one convenient to the West Coast. And I'd like to do 2 land-based events. One of them that's drivable by the East Coast, one of them that's drivable for those of us on the West Coast. We've got Emerald Wanderer. Emerald Wanderer, his son and his wife are 4 hours from Vegas. They are in and out of Vegas every 3 or 4 weeks, right? Casino Combat Chef and LMNOP. They can drive to Vegas. And that's not Vegas Strip. We're once again not going to try to do that. We're going to do one of the station casinos or something of that nature, because once again we can make an ask there. If I ask a Caesars Casino to just trust me on somebody, and by me I say I ask Eric to ask them. This is what I know. Trust me. Caesars Entertainment's inclined to say I don't. Well, and they'll him and they'll haul, and maybe they will and maybe they won't. And pretty consistently, if we stayed at Stations Casino, we know this person. They're going to be a player you're going to be happy with, putting them in a regular room. They're going to give us a couple nights, maybe as many as 3 nights, kind of on if it's the first time, kind of just for the ask. At least that's been our experiences so far. So that's a really rambling answer to a really great question. To an extent, we will do as much of this as you folks will support doing. If there's a network,
that all sounds good.
Yeah, if there's a network of people out there that says we would like a regional event every 6 weeks, I will try to find a way to do a regional event every 6 weeks. And then here's the other thing. Let me put in a little commercial for the bosses. An unofficial commercial, Spotify, not an official commercial. I'm not being compensated. Premier Casino Hosting on their Facebook group has a listing of cruises all the way out through 2027. The cruise that you were just on, if you were on a cruise, or your relationship with this podcast and with me, if you were not on this cruise, we are happy to try to book you based on your land-based play on any of the PCH group cruises. If Casino Combat Blackjack Cruises are not happening as often as you would like them to have, try a dice cruise. You will not find as many blackjack players, but you will find very, very skilled crafts players that you will learn from. You will find a group of people that once they find out the welcome party, you're in this group and you want to learn to play craps, the same effect will kick in. They will take you under their wing. They will teach you. You will quickly have friends at the bar and people to go eat with. And if you're part of Premier Casino Hosting and you went on this cruise, then you are invited to that whole list of sailings. And some of them are very, very interesting around the Mediterranean and that kind of thing. If you were not on this cruise, if you are listening to my voice, email trg@casinocombat.com. Spell combat with a K. Tell me you would like to be a PCH guest, and we will get the process started. It is an open invitation. My instructions from my bosses is we book everybody. Not every hosting company does that. Some hosting companies look, and I literally had one tell me, no names please, but, oh, you can book it yourself. I was completely qualified for the comp. I just wasn't worth their time. They weren't going to make enough by booking me that they looked me up, they looked up my score and said, oh, you can book it yourself. That's fine. I'm not dogging them for deciding to do business that way, but that's not the directions I've been given from my bosses. So if you're listening to this and you want to cruise sooner than the next card cruise, sooner than the next blackjack cruise, hit me up. We'll get you qualified. We'll get you into the process. And PCH has a huge list. And there will be people on that cruise who've listened to this podcast. There'll be people on that cruise who are good players, because that's what the core of PCH guests are really good, skilled gamblers.
TRG, I noticed that Professor Porsche and Lady Mac joined us, and I wanted them to share their 2 Kools and a Fool with us since they joined us on the cruise as well.
Oh, excellent. I'm not seeing that down here, so thanks for jumping in. Absolutely, you two. Give us 2 Kools and I was a fool. Individually.
Okay. Well, the first thing is I love the excursion. We got to be with the dolphins, and that was a once-in-a-lifetime thing for us. So I enjoyed that immensely. I enjoyed learning from you. And the second thing was just meeting everyone and spending time. I wasn't a very confident gambler. I'm feeling a lot better now that I know more of the strategies. And as I was playing blackjack, I got a lot of encouragement and assistance from other people. I guess the thing that I would do over is I would spend a little time at the craps table because all I know is to bet on 6 and 8.
Great time, great people. They just kind of brought us into this little unit, and we were able to gamble because we're not really big gamblers. So, not even gamble really at all. We're learning the process, and everyone was really, really good with us, and they took their time, taught us, which I think is great. And I don't think a lot of people will do that. So we appreciate that. And hopefully we'll see everyone else there. It was great. We had a great time.
Well, good, because we certainly all enjoyed having you, and anything we can do to help.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, TRG, I have a question. So when you guys were on the cruise, did you guys do a lot of things together? Did you guys eat together? Did you go to the shows together? Like, was everybody on their own to do that kind of stuff?
So I would say, Nakatomi Tony, that it was a wonderful mix of a little of both. We ate a lot of meals together, and one of the coolest things, which would have been my third cool if I was allowed to have one, and obviously I could have, but I didn't. I think a lot of people have a mental image of gamblers. And yet, to defy that stereotype, several of the meals that we ate together, and sometimes we had a 10 top. And the cruise ship was great because we asked them the first day, hey, some of us are at 5, some of us at 7, some of us in a different room. We'd like to all eat together. We've got 6 people, and tomorrow it may be 8, and then it may be 4. And what can we do? And they said, come to this dining room, 5 o'clock, if that's your first choice, every night, stand right over here, and we will make sure your group gets seated. And every night they did, and every night was a little different. But there were multiple nights when they came around to check our food allergies, to take our cocktail orders, and someone said, before we go, can we all just pray? And everybody held hands and said grace and took a minute to be thankful. And that's not, I think, what the stereotype of gamblers is. And that's certainly the kind of people our squad has proven to be. So we did a lot of that together. We played a lot of blackjack together because we had the wonderful luxury of me or Michael being able to go over to one of the people running the casino and saying, can you open our private table? And they would very quickly accommodate us. We played a lot of blackjack together. There were also a lot of spontaneous things where you just walk into an area, whether that was a bar or a restaurant or a part of the casino, and you just join in with someone else who was doing something else. So we saw a lot of shows together. We did a lot of dinner and a show. And there again, Midnight Diver had a different seating preference in the theater. He had some spots in the theater that he knew he could stretch his legs out, and that's what he wanted to do. So he saw the same shows we saw. He sat in another part of the theater. And at the same time, there were also times where somebody would say, as a couple, we're just going to go get ice cream. We don't like our gambling results. We're just going to go get ice cream. And they were not part of the group for that small block of time. I hope, and there were also times where we had group texts set up that included, everybody in the larger PCH group. And there were times when we sent out a group text and said, we're going to do this. And I, in my mind, meant the people in our smaller group. And then there would be several other members from the larger group who would go join in and hang out and have conversations. So we got a great mix of all of it. We really did. And that was a great question, Nakatomi Tony. Okay, my computer popped up something about Equine Ensign. I don't know if that was Slack or if he's here. Did he wander in?
No, that was Slack.
Okay. The wonders of having multiple methods of communication with each other.
You guys expect to get invited with another private table at MSC, or did you just destroy them?
Card's subject to change, and you never know till you know, and everything's a negotiation. But they wanted that table, if they were going to open it, to be a $50 minimum table. And I told them, what you really want, in my opinion, as the immense expert that I am, and that is incredibly sarcastic, and I realize how ridiculous it is to say that. But I told them, I said, if you give me that table at a $25 minimum instead of $50, my folks will be between $25 and probably $200 on the top. And you'll get an average better than $50, but by setting a 50 minimum is what you're trying to get. And that table will be full almost the entire time you have tables open. We will have people there playing almost all the time. If you don't give it to me as a private game and open it at 50, most of my players won't play, and if they play, they'll play less because they're comfortable 25 to 200, but they're not all comfortable 50 to 400. And if they can't get that range of bets, they're either going to play less, play other games, or they're going to get into other blackjack tables, and then your $50 table is going to mostly sit open the way I think it probably does on a lot of cruises. And that was our pitch to them. And I think from everything I saw, that was true and accurate. That they got the average bet they wanted from the numbers I've seen. We kept that table full almost the entire time. There were times, and it was a big table. For those of you that weren't on the cruise, this blackjack table was not your standard 5 or 6 spot blackjack table. It was low seating. It was like a poker table, and it had 10 spots. Long oval table. And we did not fill every spot all the time, but we had 6, 7 spots full all the time, and occasionally we're rolling in an 8th spot, and some people were playing more than one hand. If I'm MSC, I'm feeling like I got exactly what I wanted from a business point of view from that, and I'd want to do it again. And then, let's be honest, everything in setting these things up is a negotiation. We're going to hold that. If we decide we're going to want to do something with Royal, or we're going to want to do something with, I don't know, Carnival, Virgin Voyages, we'll kind of make the same pitch to them. We had this group on MSC. This is what MSC did. This is how it played out for them. And we'll try to leverage that with the Seneca Nation. And not everybody's going to say yes. Sunset Station last time would have given us our own blackjack game. And I wasn't confident that we would be able to consistently fill it. And it was going to be a dealer that was not getting paid except from tips. Because when we do Sunset Station, they open extra tables, craps tables for us. And because of how well the PCH group tips, the dealers kind of want to sign up and work those extra unpaid shifts because they know we'll tip well. But certainly they were willing. Certainly they were willing to change the craps table that they had. They would probably be willing to give us a free bet blackjack game if we can put the people at it. So based on what we saw, based on the way the squad wanted to play, wanted to be. I mean, I was never going around going, come on, guys, let's go play. Come on, guys, let's go play. I wasn't having to cheerlead and encourage anybody out of concern that we didn't have enough people on the table. So we're going to make that ask. Well, two things. we're going to make that ask anywhere we go. And when we do group events, we're going to try to do group events where we can make that ask and feel like we have a chance of success. I'm not going to make that ask to Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas right now. They're not interested. Our chance of getting a yes to that are very small. I'm not going to make that ask from Kansas City and Harris because I know what their expectation is if they give us the private gaming salon. And we're not as a group, we are not going to meet their expectations, or we got to all commit to playing a bit bigger, myself included. So, long answer again, I'm on brand. We will absolutely try to look for places as a group to leverage what we just did, to make those asks, to get those private games, and at the same time, not to blaspheme scripture, but where 4 or 5 are gathered together in my name, we have the ability to take over most blackjack tables fairly quickly and easily. There's only 6 or 7 spots. It only takes a few of us rolling up into any casino to find the table with the most open seats and sit down. And as soon as people roll out, go, would you mark that? Would you mark that? And pretty soon we've got a private game once again in most casinos. Not as conveniently as just having them put that big red sign up that said private game. That was a lot of fun on MSC, but we're going to for sure do that. It was too nice and too useful and helpful to not ask.
My experience on the celebrity cruise that I was on, it was a small ship, 2,000 people. So and it was in Alaska. So it wasn't really like a gambler's destination, right? So, what we had was a $25 table with 3-2 blackjack, and they had 2 or 3 $10 tables paying $6 to $5, always full of people playing $25 a hand, and an empty table. There were 2 guys that played, me and one other guy, at the $25 table once in a while, and it was such a better table. And the thing about it is, I don't know, you guys can tell me if MSC did this, but they counted every hand. They counted every spin of the roulette table. They counted every roll of the dice. So if you're at a table by yourself, your comps are going to accumulate because you're playing faster. They're not taking, this is your average blackjack number of hands per hour. They're not using that. They're using the actual number. So if you're at a table by yourself, I assume you're accumulating comps at a higher rate. Is that how MSC was?
Yeah. So thanks, Badger Baron. This is your experience has been my experience on every cruise line I've been on. They are meticulous in recording number of hands, meticulous in recording number of tosses, and on a busier table, you're getting less hands, which means you're getting less points. It takes more time. Land-based casinos, they tend to be lazy. Land-based casinos, you can play some games with stepping away and getting counted for hands you didn't play. Cruise lines are always paying attention. And because in this particular physical layout, the dealer had their back to the wall of the casino on the ship that we were on, our private game. It was not in a pit of other tables. And so we had a dedicated pit boss that was on the tablet all the time, on the screen all the time, keeping meticulous records of who did what. And I was a bit surprised because their numbers on us, because I got to see numbers every day. And usually when I see numbers on myself, I kind of go, yeah, I think my records are better than yours. And I know they're wrong, and whatever direction is the direction. Hopefully they have me losing when I'm winning. But MSC's numbers were very, very accurate for me. They were very, very accurate for Mrs. TRG. I'm wandering a bit away from the question, but the only part I'm unsure of is I don't know I know our points didn't accrue when we wagered free bets or free slot play. That makes sense. But it looks to me from looking at our numbers that the amount we won in dollars does reflect money won with free bets or free slot play. At least that's how I'm interpreting my numbers. So their record keeping was better than anything I've seen on land, and it matches what I've seen Royal do. And then I would say this, just in terms of folks listening and thinking they want to go on a cruise like this, and a little concerned about perhaps their level of play. Are they really qualified? Cruise ships have been very generous about bringing on first-time people with our groups. And Michael and I are very, very, very available during a group trip to say, we've seen this. If you're asking, this is what we've seen. This is perhaps a little bit of a course correction you might want to consider making. And, that can be, can you find some more time? That can be, are you comfortable making your bets a little larger? Are you comfortable picking some other wagers where the house advantage is a bit larger? Not one of my guests, but I know Michael suggested to somebody that was one of his that since they asked, not that we were coming and knocking on anybody's door, but since they asked, he said, can you throw a slot machine or two in? Are you comfortable throwing a little slot play in with some good guardrails? And those are all options. So speaking not necessarily to this audience, but to the larger audience, when you're on a group cruise like this, there's no reason that day 2 or day 3, you can't ask and say, hey, how's my play stacking up? Am I playing at a level that I can expect to get invited back again, if that's what you're trying to do, and get a true sense of where your ADT is, where your accumulated points are, how the house is seeing your average bet. That's one of our advantages to you in our role, is that we get to see all of that. And we can say, you're fine. Your play is right in line with what the group is doing, and we're not concerned about the group. And we can give you that feedback, and we can give you that information, and we're never going to say, so you need to go do this and this and this. We're just going to let you know where you're falling, and you can make choices around that as it makes sense.
Please tip your waitresses, tip your bartenders, tip your dealers. If you have a host, tip your host, but don't tip away your wins. TRG has spoken. Everything you heard here is true from a certain point of view. In 10 years, we may find out he was wrong about all of this. It's time for leaving, and I hope you understand. TRG was born a ramblin' man. Love it, hate it, it don't matter. Please share with your family and friends. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for listening. The best part of the podcast is next. The Casino Combat Blues. Thank you again to Fish Audio for providing my glorious voice. Special thank you to my original actress, author, Julia Tverdovskaya.
For Atlantic City Empress, Casino Combat's ace.
There are profits in the casino tonight, I can feel it in my bones. I had a premonition, you should probably play alone. I know the house has an advantage, but that's part of the thrill. If we follow the core concepts, the chips begin to spill. So baby, here's your player's card, put your bankroll in your hand. Use just some of that money now, do it just the way we planned. Just follow the core concepts and you could win several grand. Well, it's good if it goes down like that, don't have to play to lose. It's gambling as a business, the Casino Combat Blues. Casino Combat Blues.
All right, this will be quick. I'm not going to take a lot more of your time, but a little bit of short, a really quick little segment after the episode to end the episode. After we stopped officially, after we were just kind of saying goodbye during the Zoom call, there was a little section from Mrs. TRG that really kind of captured things I thought and things I wanted to say. So I'm just going to leave you with that little extra soundbite to wrap up this episode.
Well, it was a great time, and I appreciate everybody who came, and hopefully the next time we can get more of you to join us, because I know you'll have a great time as well. And thank you, TRG, for putting it all together. Thank you all, friends, for joining us, and can't wait for the next one. So
Yes.
I'll be the first.
Can't
because
wait.
I'm going to go unload my dishwasher.